Good day, Dr. Roseland. I'm Lingyun. This is our group video for the course ZCME6251 Islamic Wealth Management. Our group chose Zakat, and our group member consists of me, Mokhzani, and Jafni. First, I will start off the introduction of Zakat. Let's talk about the definition of Zakat. Zakat is an Islamic finance term referring to the obligation that an individual has to donate a certain proportion of wealth, normally it's 2.5%, each year to charitable causes, and it is mandatory for all the Muslims and is regarded as a form of worship. Next, let's talk about the history background of Zakat. Zakat came from Arabic root, means purification. Also, from the word zakat means blessing, growing, pure, and good. If we apply it to a person, it means the person is good. From another language perspective, zakat also means pure, growing, blessing, and praiseworthy. History shows that many prophets before Prophet Muhammad were also commanded by Allah to obey the principles of zakat. It also illustrated that the ideas about zakat were gradually introduced into society during the time of the Holy Prophet. In the beginning, zakat was made to be an option, but then it becomes mandatory as time passing by. Next is about zakat status in Muslim countries. We all know that there are many Muslim countries in the world, but they have different status. For the country like Iraq, Morocco, they don't have zakat government system. But in a country like Egypt, Indonesia, or Iran, zakat is voluntary. Last, in a country like Libya, Malaysia, or Pakistan, zakat is mandatory for all these countries to pay for in some institutions. There are 8 zakat recipients. First is fakir. Fakirs are Muslims who have no property or income and did not reach 50% to meet the basic needs of themselves and those who are under his charge. Second one is for the poor. Poor people are the Muslims who has property or income can only cover 50% but does not reach 100% to meet the basic needs of themselves and those who are under his charge. The third group is Amir. Amirs are the person or organization that is responsible for carrying out the work of collection and distribution of zakat affairs. We can also call them zakat administrators. The fourth group is mu'allaf, those whose hearts are to be reconciled, meaning new Muslims and friends of the Muslim community. The fifth groups are those who are in bondage, such as slaves and captives. The 6 groups are the debtors to meet basic needs for the benefit of themselves, their families, and dependents or people who need instant solution justified by Islamic law. The 7th group are any person or party who engage in an activity for vertical, maintain, and propagate the Islamic religion and virtue in the cause of God. Last group are any person traveling for the purpose approved by the Sharia law of any country or any country that needs help. Next, let's talk about the 3 terminologies in zakat. First one is how. How is used by the jurists to describe the amount of time which must pass before a Muslim in possession of funds equaling or exceeding the exemption limit must pay zakat on his wealth. For example, a lunar year of around 354 days. The second term is nisab. Nisab is the minimum amount that a Muslim must have before being obliged to zakat. The third term is milkat tam. It refers to full or complete ownership, which means we have full control of the wealth, can use and benefit from it. Next, let's talk about the types of zakat. There are 2 types of zakat. First one is zakatul fitr. It is a donation to charity given during the holy month Ramadan and before Eid al-Fitr in the form of food. The second type of zakat is zakatul mal. It is commonly referred to as zakat by most Muslims. It is zakat that Muslims are required to pay annually on wealth that includes such as currency, gold, silver, stock in trade, and so on. Last but not least, let's talk about the importance and benefits of zakat. There are many verses in the Quran that mention zakat's importance is like prayer. We can see from this verse, establish regular prayer and give zakat, and obey Allah and His Messenger. Also in the Holy Quran, Allah says, and establish prayer and give zakat, and whatever good you put forward for yourselves, you will find it with Allah. Similarly, there are also verses mentioned here. I give the pledge of allegiance to the Prophet for offering prayer perfect, giving zakat, and giving good advice to every Muslim. This hadith also states in no uncertain terms that one cannot hope to become an ideal Muslim without paying their fair share in the name of zakat. Also, we know that there are many benefits of zakat, such as providing the financial help by way of food, clothes, and shelter for the people and who are poor and needy. Also, it's a way to prevent the poor to resort to committing crime by robbing or stealing food or any other crime activities. Spiritually speaking, zakat also can clean the soul from selfishness and greed as well from being self-centered, and teaches him to feel responsible towards the poor. It is also a reminder for the rich that wealth is entrusted by Allah and belongs to Allah. Zakat provides an opportunity for the poor and needy to elevate themselves from their poverty status through provision of small capital for business. Finally, it teaches all the Muslims to have the best of qualities that are generosity, love, and concern for all with kind. That's all for my part. Next, Mokhzani will talk about the zakat in Malaysia.
So, Assalamualaikum and Salam Sejahtera. This presentation is for Islamic Wealth Management. My topic is Zakat in Malaysia. Currently doing for the group assignment. Okay, our topic is colonial era. Okay, for your information, before the colonial era, zakat in Malaysia was traditionally implemented and not systematically regulated under the government. So the zakat is implemented by paying it by the villagers to the religious teacher because of this kind of religious teacher is more authoritative or more have a knowledge about the whole nisab and the rate of the zakat to be distributed to the asnaf. Okay, in the colonial time, the action of the British interfering in customary and religious affairs has sparked the dissatisfaction of the people under the auspices of the state sultan. Okay, therefore, the British action was to hand over customary and religious affairs to the sultan without interfering in such affair. And thus action of the British are leaving the matter of the custom religion to the Sultan and not intervene. Therefore, the custom of Islam and Malay deal to the Council of the Traditional Unity and the Islamic Religious Council and Malay Custom. While basis other such finance and education issue are supervised by the British. So after the independent, the matter of zakat be managed by the religious council of each state. So in Malaysia, we currently doing that for the 14 state that be managed by the religious council of each state. 14. So however, the relation between the council and the respective state government is not the same. So each state government has a Department of Affairs, State Islamic Religion. The Ministry of Islamic Religion acts as administrative of the religious school, dakwah activities, providing religious course, implementing Islamic law, administration and expand relating to Islamic affairs, and the administration of the judiciary Islam. The State Religious Council focus on the administration of zakat, the administration of Baitul Mal, and the Wakaf Fund. So we going to the topic of zakat rules in Malaysia. So for your information, the law of the zakat is made by the State Legislative Assembly. So state is free to legislate on zakat, although must be within the territory by Islamic Sharia law of the state. So next is Selangor and the Federal Territory has set the punishment for the offence of not paying zakat in the Sharia criminal offence law or the law. So actually they got three main aspects are related to the law of zakat in Malaysia. So the first one is the type of zakat collected by the official institution. The second one is allegation of violation of the implementation of zakat. And the third one is the form and amount fines and penalty that may be imposed. So this slide is regarding on the zakat fitrah rate in Malaysia for the 2021. So if you can see in the table, they state all the 14 of the state in Malaysia, including Perlis, Pulau Pinang, Kedah, Perak, Selangor, Federal Territory, including KL, Putrajaya and Labuan, Melaka, Johor, Pahang, Terengganu, Kelantan, Sarawak, Sabah and Negeri Sembilan. So if you see, they got a few states that have different of the rate. This is because of the status of the economic, social economy of the people over there. So if you see, they got RM7, such as them as Pulau Pinang got RM7, RM12 and RM16 because it depend what is the type of the rice they usually eat. Some of them will eat the imported rice, some of them will eat the local rice. It depends on the rate and then the ability to paying the to sustain the life for the people in the on the state. So we go to the next slide, issue and challenge. Okay, this one is about the challenging of zakat institution. Where as you see right there's this moment all the state of the country all the state in the country of Malaysia 14 state actually the institution manage the zakat where they got the ustaz and so on to be represented by as amil that are trusted by local communities such as ustaz as I said before that got a background of in the religious education. So, but nowadays zakat management also require manager, okay, who have other knowledge such as management, entrepreneurship, technology, and so on. Because we cannot depend only on the religious education, either where you come from the Al Azhar University and so on. When come to the managing, you have to other knowledge also be inside there to control and manage the zakat center. So the third one is will increase the level of professional of zakat management. So this one it will increase the confidence of zakat payer and will eventually add fund to the zakat in the Islamic financial system, which could eventually increase further distribution to the asnaf. So the existing zakat law has not fully implemented zakat such as corporate zakat, which has not been popular since this become the authority of the central government. So the distribution of the deserving group is not announced, but in the mass media and social media, for example, the program Bersama is, if not mistaken, this program is not be continue for 1 year or 2 year ago. But some of the program display the group of that available to be given by zakat by the zakat center. Okay, the last one is the ability of the zakat center to find and no longer waiting for the asnaf to present at the zakat center to apply for the zakat. So it means that zakat center or the officer at the zakat center have go to the underground to find and to represent zakat center to distribute to the asnaf that available. Okay, I think that's all for my part. Okay.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. Roslan Jafar, our beloved lecturer, and everyone who watching this video. My name is Jafni Bin Johar. On behalf of my team, I will talk about zakat in a few Muslim majority countries. Based on the World Population Review website, currently there are 49 countries in the world that are categorized as Muslim majority countries. A country with the largest numbers of Muslims is Indonesia, and a country with the lowest number of Muslims is Mayotte in Africa continent. Just for our information, Mayotte is a French colony country since 1843. However, 97% of around 280 to 290,000 population are still Muslim. For this presentation, first I will talk about Zakat in Saudi Arabia, then followed by Indonesia, and lastly Brunei Darussalam. According to Prof. Izlawani Muhammad, who is a lecturer at USAID, not many countries in the world impose the compulsory Zakat payment law. Saudi Arabia is one of the few. Generally, in Saudi Arabia, all companies and individuals are made compulsory to pay Zakat at the rate of 2.5% from the assessable amount. There is a custom formula to calculate this assessable amount, which can be determined when filing Zakat return. We may understand this Zakat return as the e-filing process in Malaysia. Only certain companies and individuals such as foreigners are exempted from paying the Zakat, but as the replacement, they need to pay the income tax. The General Authority of Zakat and Tax under Ministry of Finance of Saudi is the agency that is responsible to govern collection of both Zakat and tax in Saudi. 97% of Saudi population are Muslim, which is around 31.9 million people. In 2020, the gross national income (GNI) per capita of Saudi Arabia was $21,930, which is ranking 37 in the world, and its gross domestic product (GDP) was around $701 billion, which ranked 19 in the world. According to Prof. Izlawani, this low GNI per capita show that there is the existence of relative poverty in Saudi Arabia. The distribution of Zakat in Saudi is the responsibility of the General Organization for Social Insurance under the Ministry of Human Resource and Social Development. Among the recipients of Zakat through this agency are elderly, widow, orphan, families member of prisoners, and abandoned family members. Its application of Zakat is verified through an automated search and field research system. According to a journal by Dr. Asha Al-Saleh, who is a lecturer at University Princess Noorah bin Abdul Rahman in Riyadh, Saudi, there was a statistic that showed the total social insurance beneficiary reached more than 884,000. For comparison, in Selangor, there were 61,315 Zakat recipients out of 6.53 million population in 2019. It means the percentage of Zakat recipient in Selangor is only 0.94% compared to Saudi Arabia, which is 2.7%. The way Saudi Arabia government collects and distributes Zakat through its federal government agency clearly show to us that Zakat is a vital tool to support the economic growth of Saudi Arabia. The high percentage of Zakat beneficiary also show us that in Saudi Arabia, Zakat play a critical function to its welfare society. These opinions are parallel with the summary by Dr. Asha Al-Saleh in her journal. Now, we'll talk about Zakat in Indonesia. The Muslim in Indonesia is around 229 million, which is about 87% of its population. In Indonesia, there are two formal Zakat institutions as stated in its Law of Zakat Management number 23/2011. The first institution is National Board of Zakat, BANAS, and the second one is Private Zakat Collector Institution, LAZ. However, there is a research that mentions some people of Indonesia tend to give Zakat directly to Asnaf instead of paying it to the BANAS or LAZ. Based on a report, namely National Zakat Statistic 2019, the Zakat in Indonesia is distributed into 5 aspects of program, namely economy, health, social humanity, education, and dakwah. The total amount of Zakat that has been distributed in 2019 is 6,218.5 billion Indonesian rupiah, which is around 1.8 billion our ringgit Malaysia. As based on the same report, the total beneficiary of Zakat in Indonesia are more than 23.5 million people, which is more than 10% of its population or around 8.5% of its Muslim population. The biggest Asnaf group that receives Zakat in Indonesia is Fakir Miskin. In 2019, 66% of Zakat fund was distributed to this group. Therefore, from all the facts that I have shared, we can conclude that Zakat in Indonesia is a vital tool for its welfare society. There is also a research by Islamic University of Indonesia that found the significant impact of Zakat collection institution on social well-being. Based on the pie chart, we may learn that 13.5% of the Zakat are being used for aspect economy. A research by University Islam Kalimantan Muhammad Arshad Al-Banjari Banjarmasin made a conclusion that zakat funds are distributed by Banas Kota Banjarmasin in Sub Kalimantan Province have significant effect in the regional economic development. Banas Kota Banjarmasin help the Asnaf by providing business capital. Before funding the business, Basnas will do the feasibility study such as the type and place of the business. Basnas also will always check the background of the applicant. After giving the funding, Basnas will do monthly monitoring in order to know the business progress. Therefore, we may conclude that zakat is a vital tool to support the economic growth in Indonesia. In contrast to my earlier statement, there is a study by the Financial Service Authority of Indonesia with YKPN College of Business Administration found zakat in Indonesia does not influence economic growth and welfare society. However, we believe this result is probably due to the 61% of 270 respondents paying their zakat directly to the asnaf, who normally are their relatives or neighbors, which means the wealth of this respondent is shared only with specific people. Hence, it is logical that the majority of these respondents cannot see that zakat can be a tool to support economic growth nationally and welfare society comprehensively. Before I discuss about zakat in Brunei, I would like to touch a little bit more about the issue of Indonesians who like to pay zakat directly to the asnaf instead of institution. In the conclusion of a research by University Islam Sultan Agong Semarang in 2018, the researcher believed there is a need for zakat institution to increase its credibility through sharing information to eliminate the doubts towards the zakat management. For example, zakat institution with Basnas and LIZ must always convey and market to the public what they will do and what they have done with the zakat fund. However, based on the data in National Zakat Statistic 2019, we believe that the trust of Muslims in Indonesia toward Basnas and LIZ is increasing from time to time. From the graph, we may see Basnas and LIZ succeed to collect more zakat, infak and sedekah year by year. Thus, we foresee that zakat in Indonesia in future will be more significant as a tool to support Indonesia's social welfare and economic growth. The population of Muslims in Brunei is around 355,000, which represents almost 79% of its total population. In 2019, the ZCME per capita of Brunei was $32,230, which ranked 27 in the world. The collection and distribution of zakat in Brunei is governed by Brunei Darussalam Islamic Religious Council (MUIB). According to the Brunei Voluntary National Review Report, Brunei's first goal from a sustainable development perspective is to alleviate poverty in all forms. Hence, we can say that the poverty in Brunei still exists, although its ZCME per capita is relatively high, even if we compare to Saudi Arabia. Based on the same report, in 2018, the total zakat that has been distributed by MUIB was around 5.2 million Brunei dollar. 36% of this amount was distributed to support the basic needs of beneficiaries, such as to purchase the medical supplies and equipment. More than 27% was distributed as monthly financial to fakir and miskin people. Other than that, around 110,000 Brunei dollar was distributed as housing rental payment. Since 2007, MUIB has organized the Asnaf Zakat Empowerment Program, PROPAS, to improve and change the zakat beneficiary standard of living. For example, in 2018, said Asnaf were given plots of land, training in planting, and also marketing knowledge to become a farmer and at the same time as an entrepreneur. Some Asnaf were sent to Baitul Skill Institute in Kuala Lumpur for learning new skills in a few courses such as computer, building construction, and food services in order to increase their abilities and chance for being employed whether in the private or public sector. MUIB also distribute the zakat as capital injection or purchase of machine and equipment to potential entrepreneurs. From all of this information, we can conclude that in Brunei, zakat is a vital tool to support economic growth and welfare society. That's all from us. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next time.